Hey everybody, it's BJ.
And Patrick.
And we're back talking all things real estate. Thank you for joining us today. If you haven't, take a quick second, hit that subscribe button, and give us a like for the video, and let's get right into it.
Yeah, we're going to be covering, there's a Financial Post article here,
Okay.
and it's giving us 5 reasons why home prices will rise 10% in 2025.
Okay.
Yeah, I keep hearing about like market crashes, housing bubbles. The prices have already come down a little bit, right?
Yep.
So, 5 reasons why they're going to be going up. And then the first one is delayed purchases have built up demand.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think we experienced this here in Victoria. We were looking forward to a spring market
Yeah.
and an active market, sort of like traditionally how
Yeah.
how busy it would be,
Yeah.
and it sort of just fizzled right out.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and we didn't really have a spring market until like September, October,
Yeah.
after we had like consecutive rate drops.
Yeah.
So that's probably, I would think, the number one reason why we're going to be looking at a busier year.
Yeah.
Is it going to be prices going up 10%? We'll see. But according to Financial Post here, they're saying this pent-up demand, there's a natural life cycle of home buying, which is almost like human nature. In Canada, once you're able to save some real money, whatever that means, $100,000 to $300,000, depending on the market, the cultural expectation is that you will buy a house of some kind.
Okay.
Now, in a different article, we talked about 18 to 34
Yeah.
year olds, right?
Yeah.
More Gen Zs and millennials will be entering into the market, so that makes sense.
Sure.
So, skipping down, price cap increases on insured mortgages.
Sure. Up to
So
1.5.
we went from a million to 1.5. I'm not really
I don't.
sure.
Yeah, I question how much of an effect that's going to have on the market. I mean, if you're talking about 5% down on a $1.5 million home.
Yeah, what is it? A million, $125,000 for a million and a half.
Yeah,
So it's a little, yeah.
that's a pretty steep payment, is all I'm saying. If you can afford it, sure.
That kind of restricts you to the top like 2.5% of income earners in Canada.
Right.
Like, so that range between a million and a million and a half really, I don't think that's a real thing. But anyways, that's what it's saying. It's saying that it's going to increase the price cap on insured housing to a million and a half, along with 30-year amortizations for first-time home buyers and new construction builds, which I can see that from a million before will provide a big push starting this month. So that starts now in January.
January, yep.
I can understand the 30-year amortization, but I don't think it's going to affect anything over $1 million.
You would think not.
Yeah, like not overly,
Yeah,
because I think anybody purchasing over $1 million probably has at least half of the money in equity.
you would think, yeah.
So moving on, lower mortgage rates. Well, this is the
Sure.
big factor
Yeah,
altogether, right? Like,
yeah,
what are your monthly payments? Obviously, it's going to afford how much money you can spend, right?
sure.
So, as people waited for mortgage rates to fall, they were excited when they finally did. However, if they are falling, why jump in? Why not wait until you can get an even lower rate? So, this strategy, people have been waiting pretty much all of 2020, 24.
Sure.
So yeah, but eventually, like you keep repeating, like at some point the prices are going to go up. Interest rates are going to be coming down.
Yeah.
That demand, people are going to more and more people are going to get off the fence
Yeah,
and start purchasing. So prices will go up at some point.
sure.
All right, house prices declines have stopped. This is
Yeah,
the main thing.
but I would say with that, I don't think you can just say that across the board, because I think there's still some where you're seeing, depending on the property, depending on the location, depending on how it was priced,
Yeah,
there's still stuff that's coming down in price.
for sure. Yeah, and we talked about this many times where, real estate is very local. to say one thing about one area doesn't apply to everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what product is available. So
Yeah.
condos are not the same as single family detached homes.
Yeah.
All of that, right?
Yep.
So it really depends on what's in demand. Like, these micro condos that are on the market now because of the short-term rental ban here
Yeah.
in BC.
Yeah.
Well, they might be affordable, but they're not flying off the shelf.
Nope. No, for sure. And we've talked about that extensively, so I'm going to not mention anything. Otherwise, we're going to be down that rabbit hole about property rights and all these things. So
We voted for losing property rights here in BC with the. So the next one is high immigration rates didn't stop. The demand from new Canadians for housing is large. Immigration targets for 2024 peaked at 500,000, 500,000, and the government is still targeting 395,000 newcomers in 2025. Immigration was in the high 200,000s to low 300,000s for most of the previous decade. It was actually way less than that. But we have a foreign buyer ban anyways,
Yeah.
so I don't understand that unless we're talking about rentals. I can
guess.
totally understand, it's not like students are coming out here and buying condos.
Yeah, or unless they're talking about these people coming and then getting their landed immigrant status or permanent residence, and then
And that takes time.
yeah,
And they would be past the ban anyways,
yeah,
right? So
yeah. And that ban. Here's the other thing: that ban can be gone when there's a new government. We don't know.
Right. So currently it's extended until 2027.
Yeah.
So blaming foreigners and whatever, my parents immigrated,
Yeah, my
everybody
parents
immigrated
immigrated,
here.
yeah.
So what, right? You can't blame immigrants on all these foreigners bought, as driving the prices up. People move here. If it wasn't desirable, the prices would be cheap, right? It's that simple.
Yeah.
So you can't blame people for moving somewhere and then it's more expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a delay now with a foreign buyer ban. Is there ways around it? Yeah, there's some exemptions. Is there a totally illegal way to get around it? Well, you're gonna suffer the consequences
Sure.
if you do it that.
Yeah.
That's just the stupidest excuse ever.
Yeah.
That's not gonna it's not going to help you with the down payment. It's not going to help your credit, and it's not going to prove work history.
Yeah.
So all of these are lame excuses that
Yeah.
people have, right?
Sure.
But those are the top 5 reasons why
Okay.
at least this Financial Post article thinks that prices will go up 10%. Yeah. You know what? It really depends on which aspect of the market
Yeah.
we might be talking about, right?
And where certainly, I think we've talked about Toronto and how their condo market is taking it in the teeth, and
Yeah.
and that's not going to rebound anytime soon. But you've got single family homes in Toronto, which that's a strong.
They're holding steady. Yeah, absolutely.
Or same, here we're seeing, I think, based on where the property is and what it's priced at, it's holding value, and they're selling more quickly, and it's more competitive. But that's always been the case.
Yeah, and what is it? The single-family detached home in Canada, it seems like it is the endangered species right now.
Yeah, we've talked
With
about that too. Yeah.
the pressure of building multifamily units. If it's 6 plexes, 4 plexes with no parking and bike lanes or something like this.
Yeah.
We're in Victoria, so I'm gonna harp on bike lanes, right?
Lanes.
Yeah, we did some.
Right.
There's some project down the road. They tore up the whole road,
Yeah.
replaced it, and then put some Lego blocks, concrete, whatever, on the side. Yeah, it's a gong show.
Yeah, a friend of mine, I was going over to his place a couple of weeks ago, and he said, "Oh yeah, by the way, they just came in and tore everything up on our street and turned everything into bike lanes, so you can't park in front of our house anymore. You'll have to find parking a block off or something like that." And he said, I guess we needed to be quicker to get back to them and say, "Don't do this," but they just basically manhandled it and ran the bike lane straight down both sides of the road.
Anyhow, yeah, we're saving the
that's-
planet with our bike lanes. Thank you.
That's Victoria for you, or the greater
You know
Victoria
what?
area. This is Saanich.
Yeah, well,
It's kind of one and the same. So,
Langford's bought into that now, so
well,
here we are.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
Well,
no complaining about your municipality, right?
right. So,
Oh, and there's not enough money. There's always enough money.
Yeah, you just have to figure it out.
because it's a mandatory tax for owners. They don't
Oh, yeah.
they don't have revenue.
Yeah. We better stop there.
It's gonna be like full on. Yeah, this is gonna be a new year, 2025 of like,
There's going to be some government changing.
it's not gonna be any holding back of
Yeah.
like what we think.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. If you haven't, please like the video, subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on any of the content that we're putting out, and we'll see you next time.
Bye bye.